into this in terms of FPX getting back to those comfort zones.
And that's something I want to look at here, because this is one of the maps that really does characterize this team as a whole, and already, hold on, Trex is just quick to work. As we look around, but not finding too much as it stands, because as we can note here, FPX other side of the map.
They found themselves free access to a site here to get to. They want to plant it. Artist actually got 2 members in spawn. Will find the first safe. Will fall. Trex the second one though. For the trade.
Yeah, lovely trade that. And it should ring the alarm bells that that flank has got some weight to it, some value to it, as Trex has actually found Shao as well. Angel, loved his frag movie as of late. Might be on for another. We're going to go down to Leo. Now just 2, Zipan and Sugetsu. Some heavy hits though still standing, so don't put him out of it just yet. A 2v3. That's lovely. Sugetsu holding the push just on top of the wall. Noted the drop, but it is all Sugetsu. Welcome to the stage. Russ is the one to claim it. We'll be the one to get the defuse.
A very proactive pistol round here with no member of Guild whatsoever, even entertaining the possibility. It was invested to get through B main control and tiles. And they achieved that. It was argue FPX a little slow to react, call it, but it was a window of opportunity to take a little deeper control of a site. They end up walling off tree and not banking on getting any further control. And no knowledge of the minimap there, but they'll get themselves on the map. Couple of sheriffs invested here. Obviously the headhunter for Ardis. Call it a Shiko. See what they can get done. In this scenario, Ardis has almost done his job here, being aware of the possibility that they have this deeper control already, or information on the map, but lots of bodies behind that, as we saw. Trex good for the trade on that one.
So again, if you're just tuning in, FPX starting on the attacking side, and of course means Guild will be on the defending side. Bit of a trade to start with. Zipan going to find Trex. So expectations when we come in this, it would be an FPX favoured matchup if you go off historical results and all the other business, especially in this map. But again, you know, this environment can change things. I think we've seen glimpses of what Guild could be, but then also bear in mind, I think Guild, leading up towards the end of their regular season to get here, was in formidable form. Yes, they lost to, I think it's Fnatic and FPX, but even... They
slowed down a little bit, but it wasn't a lack of form towards the end. I think you're absolutely correct on that.
And they're one of the teams that can really learn on the fly. They are hard workers. There's a reason we call Coldamenta the Kingmaker. The guy is very good at putting in the hard work. Get the job done, but this is doing some damage here. This is actually a little bit worrying. Now, again, think about what the relay of information from Shao might be here, because he's gone pretty deep towards B and seen nothing.
I think Safe's just spotted him on the cross, actually.
I'm seeing the fallback from Coldamenta. Yep, there it is. Wide check on it. A bit dangerous there. Careful now. Coldamenta's on 5. Safe should shut that door.
30 seconds.
But again, this is a really awkward situation. You've got 25 seconds. You need someone to make a bit of a move here, and Ardis going to have to shoulder that burden. One up top should go down. Doesn't! That's a shocker in the end. I thought that was really kind of wrapped up Coldamenta being so low, but they stabilized just at the end.
And Shao actually finds the headshot to Coldamenta there, leaves him on 5 HP. Unfortunate not to get the follow-up tag. But damage done. 3 survive though. Got a good shot here at the bonus round. Actually, light shields are the byproduct of those sheriff investments here for FPX. 4 light shields in total. Just to prioritize some of this utility. Actually, Guild might be getting a little feisty towards tiles once again. FPX, similar to the pistol round, set up towards top mid in A lobby.
Yeah, very actually similar look. You can see the full intent behind it, but as we've noted and saw in that first round, FPX are heavily tailoring towards that A site.
Well, we'll see this time if they do actually opt to take any deeper control of it's just a site hold once again that Wall actually dealt with very early before the door even comes down here, so no real comfort here, and Guild stacked up pretty early on in this retake. That's a dirty one-way for Sugetsu to sit inside on top of the wall, though.
That's really quite nasty. We'll be able to see them as they walk through, if anyone dared to go for it, which at this point we know it's really just buying time because no one is going to risk that. Utility now invested, they do need to start making the move. Actually, Sugetsu almost lost that angle, and he actually has Max Coldamenta with him. An effective trade now finally fall into place for Guild. Zipan. Turning the tables. Safe now. Trying to hold on to this. Risky.
Ton of damage done though. I mean, way too many fall in the fray. Initially, it looked like Guild were almost going to have a lot of success there. Was Sugetsu giving up that angle on top of the wall. I think maybe just getting a little hesitant.
But again, this is something that we have to talk about as well. When we talk about Sugetsu, this is his first step on the stage, and yeah, I know,
it's an elimination game.
Elim game.
Yeah.
A lot of players have felt that first game pressure, just trying to find comfort, right? And some players have had a couple of shots at it and didn't find comfort. And one of them was actually Russ, who, of course, stepping into this game, you've got to be hoping he feels the game out a little bit here.
Yeah, for sure. And there are some interesting matchups here. We talk about returning to comfort zones, and now Angel being able to commit a little more to maybe leaning on those first engagements. But I think that lurk role is so impactful on around FPX. Actually, the back of the null command, going to try and burst through market here.
What a pace change. This isn't looking like FPX at all. Normally it's very considered, very cautious, very careful. Slowed down finally, and they have to see what these two players on the side can do. Supplemented and complemented from CT by Trex. And so far a 1-for-1 trade out. Leo still holding the ground, and Trex trying to bail him out just a little. That paint shell could have done some damage. It's going to force the hand of FPX, and there's the fight. Leo and Trex in combination, but Xiao on the other side. This map is one of his greatest to watch, but it is a 2v2. Spike now being planted. The two players, Coldamenta and Safe, having to work it back in.
No utility to work with here. 10 seconds away from another smoke to slow things down for Angel. Already Coldamenta and Safe very close up on this retake.
Anything to propel this forward. Safe with that little bit of contact towards the backside by Angel. Angel looking for the swing, but it's Xiao to connect. That's 3 this round already. Is Safe now the 1v2. Oh, looking so good here, and I think forced away. Noting this one's pretty much sewn up, and FPX, a little pace change here, a little gear shift coming out.
A pace change, yes, but they almost just freeze outside the site. I'm not sure if it was just the smoke. I mean, fantastic usage of Coldamenta's utility to really slow down that hit, but even a couple of seconds after that, FPX almost seemed like are we hitting the site? Like, what's the decision here? So a little hesitant, and usually when you do see FPX pick the pace up a little bit, it's usually pretty invested. It's all in.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if that was a respect to the utility, or just having to kind of hit the brakes there, stopping for a second to see if anyone's willing to push through, you know, anyone going to make a mistake on this. Again, I doubt anyone's going to explore from the back of that B site, so curious, but it works out in the end. And this is one where I want to just keep eyes towards Xiao. That fade in his hands has been formidable leading up to this point. One of those really key components of making it a mainstay, at least in EMEA. Now, the buy coming out here for Guild is rough. It's a little weird. Frenzies. How do you feel about Frenzy?
I mean, at this event, put one in the hands of Crashies and you see what
happens.
Rifle. Yeah, it's a rifle, effectively.
Yeah.
Over the Stinger, for sure.
Absolutely.
But who was it? Who was popping the null command? Was it somebody on Leviathan?
I think
just made the Stinger look like a rifle.
Really viable. Yeah. It was like, huh, yours is different to mine.
Lothar somewhere just smiling. FPX actually in a decent position here to get some of these ultimates in line for the next buy round.
What a different look of pace, though, from that last round. Such a stark contrast. Taking their time on approach, Angel clearing, but you know, again, relatively committed to this. Has to be a little cautious. Draws out the information of, okay, there's a frenzy. It's not massive yet.
I think also they've got to make the consideration. They're almost looking for this rifle in the hands of Safe. Trying to find themselves an engagement towards maybe a forced SMG or these pistols, as already noted. Their sight set towards B initially.
You wanted to lurk. You might be getting it pretty soon. Let's see what Angel can do with that in a moment. Just had to face it as it just rockets towards you. Trek's going to remove Zipan from this. Sugetsu desperate for a pixel to show, but Leo's giving nothing away. The spam's really good. Look at the HP now. Leo, Trek's pretty low in this. Artist isolating Trex. Actually pushing a little deeper towards CT, but swings back towards the site, noting another quick shot towards Leo. And that rifle never really had much of a say in things here. Safe, how much more can you do? The position could be dirty, but the plant going to come in now. Managing to dodge this and still have time to work forward. It's be big. Oh, Sugetsu, what a time to turn around.
The bait is
beautiful.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Angel just throws a couple of footsteps towards lane, forces that peek out from Safe. Sugetsu managed to tuck himself in on the back of that paranoia. Beautifully done. See now, Tour de Force online. Arda's got a decent buffer here. And Sugetsu just commands so much of this side from that position. Unable to really deal with it. It's good to see Sugetsu at least looking sharp in some of these situations early on.
Even
actually leading the scoreboard, yes, but...
Good to see. Find that comfort as fast as you can.
Let's play.
You heard it. Ult's out for Ardis. One of those who's making a bit of a case to be a Lanimal. looking good since he's stepped into this competition. And a very swift rotation from Guild here.
Safe, happy to try and re-explore. Xiao actually posted up, ready for that.
Nasty little off angle.
The other way, Guild preemptively have initially sent 4. Russ now has to come back, pick up the slack in mid, but Angel finds another pick, and FPX able to just find these engagements for free, seemingly.
Yeah, Guild
or just solo picks.
Drifting out. This is not great, but that flash was Leo set up for success, but a good trade for Artist to facilitate the cross. Spike is left by Tree, though, and Russ could do some damage here, but again, a quiet performance so far. Easy, light work for Artist. Silky in this round. And 3 stand for FPX, starting to really carve away a lead here. I
mean, initially there, like I said, 2 just completely dry engagements coming out from Guild, and finally try and set something up. Leo with a perfect timing on that flash coming through on the back of Russ, actually. Doesn't amount to anything though, FPX. 2 rounds ahead. Guild back down on a shaky purchase. Safe does have the tour de force. See actually where he's going to post up. TP set between Pizza and maybe back towards Spawn here, yeah.
Oh, Mike. It's happened.
What's that? I've never seen this before.
Well, let me tell you about it. It's called a technical pause.
Okay.
It can happen for a multitude of reasons. It could be a mouse. It could be a keyboard, a monitor. Who knows? It could even be a headset. So I've heard. Yeah. Isn't it great? You love to see it. So it does get us a little bit more time to then kind of chew the fat in this game, right? Because we've had a little bit of a look now. It's not just that insta pause, which we've had before. And it will be unpaused soon, so it's fine. But so far, has it held true to your expectations? I think is the easiest way to ask this question.
I think we've seen enough of this map yet, and again, for Sugetsu slotting into this, I don't think we've seen enough of, well, at least being tested in some of these rounds. Sugetsu particularly impactful on the defense as well. Really way we look to it, but hold that thought for a moment, because FPX going to force their way onto A site here. Russ will be spotted out, tries to drift into the smoke. Oh, they're good for the first. Everyone blinded up here, but FPX finally get their way through main. The door will be closed.
These swift anti-ecos in a couple of these rounds, the pace change from FPX is pretty blistering. Now, any damage that can come out of this will be curious. There are a couple of players, and Safe is the one who could do serious damage here. Dangerous now. Investment of utility just to slow the roll. Xiao on the site. And you can see them just being locked down. Zipan already finding Leo. Trex has been noted. And again, you're waiting to see if that maybe damage from Safe had come through, and it just hasn't.
Tagged up down to 5 HP. Trex got lots of problems to deal with.
There's just no way in.
No. A consolation maybe here, but the economy already rolling for FPX. Will make an awful lot of difference. I guess who tries to slip back, but just get caught in the slow field. So we'll do a little bit of damage here.
Teleport's ready.
FPX find their 5th. This is the problem really here. That, I mean, the next buy round becomes a little concerning if Gilda can concede once again. Almost expecting a timeout to come through.
Yeah,
actually seeing it just pop up now, yeah, because this one is important in terms of the outcome of the rest of this half.
And this is where you want, you know, Barbar Cam to come on in. I want to see what this guy's up to. Animated as ever. Probably, and curiously enough, outside of Angel, probably has the most LAN experience on the stage right now. Out of everyone. Barbar certainly knows how to try and bring out the best in these boys. Stabilize Angel.
Angel's probably got as much LAN experience as the other 9 players combined.
Literally.
You'd probably are.
Add him up. Add him up.
It's not an age thing. It's not.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But again, I think Barbar does need to play an integral role in this. Yes, if you're being realistic and you are a Guild or a Guild fan, you look at your odds in this map, it's not likely, but I want to see a better attempt.
For sure, but it comes back to that better the devil you know, right? This is the team that actually regionally target set on both of these teams' backs in, you could argue, in some regard.
Hands down.
That's whether or not Guild are able to execute that. So the minute, I mean, you think back to that sloppy buy round where kind of swinging out and giving away 2 picks.
Yeah, the drifting into no man's land. That was, I don't know what the misread was, because
you got to assume if there's no contact found in the first 20 seconds versus FPX, they've walked up towards the site. Yeah. They're close on catwalk. They're outside A main. They have control, and they're happy with that.
Yeah. Maybe just a little reminder of this. You know, it is FPX. You know how they play, and it's one of those matchups now. They have to be aware of each other, stylistically. So we go back in. Operator out for safe, and this is the buy that has to do something to slow this down. And once again, it looks relatively all in from FPX.
They've actually noted 3 inside tree. And that's almost going to give them an indication nobody's on site. There's no way that there's a 4th stack. Russ actually picks up Ardis in that lurk on short. Site control will be in favor of FPX. He's going to get the null command off this plant as well, Lauren.
And instantly invests it. Tries to remove any of that utility away for the retake.
It's going to burn up a lot of time.
Yeah, make it so much more difficult. And hopefully with that in mind, FPX just don't give options to Gil. Don't make it easy for him. There we go.
To slow it down.
This is huge. They are just layering time right now. Yes, there is a trade out. Zipan did find Coldamenta though. And the spam comes out. Shao. Nasty work. Angel finds Russ trying to work through on tree. And now it's the players trying to drop on down. Safe and Leo. Careful now. Don't stack up because they are dangerous players at Angel.
Angel.
What are you doing?
Caught in no man's land there as soon as the smoke drops, but how the other 2 went in favor of Guild, I'll never know. What a fumble.
Roll this back, because again, I got a little worried when they get a little stacked up, when they got a little close, but they weren't. It was that tuck towards Doc. I didn't think it was a problem, but apparently so. An Angel just...
Yeah, a strange one to watch back.
As said, one of the most experienced players. Seeing him caught short, not ideal, but regardless, for Guilds, you'll take it with both hands, right? Like, the amount of time that was invested.
I mean, Xiao's done well as well to use off the reveal to find a wallbang through from Hell.
Yep.
It's like FPX feel like they've got something to try and exploit here. Looking pacey once again. Angel actually going to try and TP back Gen, but denied by Leo initially. FPX now will retreat away from this. No real control elsewhere, so you get to, as I say, just now coming back towards B main, might catch Russ. With no follow through towards 8. Got to assume he's going to try and play his life here.
I want to see how Guild read this, because we haven't really seen FPX when they've gone for those more all-in pieces being held at the door. So what's that level of adaptation? Nice amount of information found for Russ there too. Noted. Should be quite telling. Curious to see if Coldamenta starts hitting that lean back towards B potentially, or if they're satisfied with him being kind of top mid. A little bit of a touch towards tree. A lot of pressure on Russ now. And there's that watch going up mid. Leaving in the hands of Safe, and he collects 1. That's Angel now gone. Divide can be committed, and the rest comes out. Angel back on his feet, and Safe with a deeper angle. Connects well. Spike now noted. Rotations on the way. FPX not having the entry they wanted. Nice shot from Ardis back towards Russ, but there is still players here. Trex has slipped towards the site as well.
Actually, if they can catch Leo, make this even easier on the way back in, but the ultimate invested here, going to cut all sound.
And that's
Safe
Spike.
And Leo both find it.
Spike deep in CT.
10 seconds left.
You've got 8 seconds to do something with this. And Angel's going to do nothing. Safe with a stun up. Lovely round from him. Very composed, falling back, buying more and more time.
Again, the initial problem being this, the utility invested towards A main at the start, and FPX then turn around. They have nothing to flash away from Safe. They almost have to shift, walk up, taking contact against Safe's operator. He's rewarded for initially the first, draws out the res, finds the second. It's exactly the scenario I'm here. It's Angel, the front runner here for FPX.
Perfect.
Very bizarre to watch some of these. Like I said, it's another situation where FPX almost get themselves on the brink of sight, and there's this moment's hesitation.
Yes, man.
Can I just get those comms the whole time, if you don't mind?
Just pump that.
It gets people going. Like, bring it on. Yeah, it's quite interesting to kind of re-examine my expectations of FPX, because let's say we saw a couple of these rounds in the EMEA run up to this, I would have been baffled, right? But again, they have had to, you know, they brought Insider, brought him into the process, had to kind of change things around with that. You've got Sugetsu now coming back in. Okay, shuffle again. This is still the first time we've really got to see FPX in these environments, so I have to manage my expectations in that regard, because some of these rounds are very uncharacteristic for them.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. This isn't one that, I mean, particularly on the attacking side of Ascent, statistically, it's not one they usually over-deliver. Usually average in pretty much 6 or 7. There's not really a massive surprise in that regard. It came down to that buy round that ultimately could have defined the entirety of this half, but Guild kept it within touch and distance. Yeah, utility exchange, and Angel falls first.
And Safe's having a really nice little heater of a game here.
Right, he was under a lot of pressure early on towards mid as well, which is why I think we saw that pace change towards 8. The noting Safe being present in market, maybe a B main peak here and there.
Bomb buddy out.
He was rewarded this time around.
See the lean starting to begin. Leo sat towards CT.
Rifle in the hands of Shout. See if we can get anything done with it. Obviously, Sheriffs to complement that, as well as Ardis on a headhunter.
Kind of deep there sitting as well. You're starting to see that Safe is exploring us. I just hope we don't see that weird drifting that we saw before, but no, Safe playing this really nicely. Understanding the tempo of the game so far. Tucked towards Dice and just making FPX work for it. It's a...
Nearly finds the readjust there onto Zipan.
That was very, very close. But you could see the reads really quite good here. Guild are looking very composed, sitting nice and deep, not allowing any of the wants or desires that FPX would have had for that round. Yeah,
much cleaner approach to this anti-eco than a few of these others we've seen. Actually tie things up here as we enter round 11 with a prime gaming flawless. It's interesting here again, once this, you feel like the confidence is there for Guild and whether or not they do start to follow through on this proactive use of utility in the early rounds.
Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys. 7-5. Come on. Yeah.
Safe had to go down. I mean, Leo and Safe, respectively, on 13 kills right now. Really doing the heavy lifting here for Guild.
Yeah, it's Trex with a committed push this time. Flashed off the angle and forced to respect it, but I quite like the way they're going exploring a little now. Trying to find layers to this. Though. Yeah, it's not just on one side, you're right, it's on the other. Sugetsu quick to it. Safe getting punished on the exploration mission, and that will prove to be a problem now.
It definitely is problematic, because Coldamenta, I mean, even more so now, because he's drifting ahead of this trap that, once Safe falls, you've got to say it's his job to hold on to mid here, and gives away the first. Leo falls in quick succession.
Desperate to try and equalize. You could see him just trying to bring it back to that 4v4, and someone like FPX will almost hit the brakes and look for that. They'll try and find that. Want an exploration to take back space in the map. Not gonna be allowed now. Russ, he's had a bit of a nightmare run so far. Could do with a little bit of a confidence boost to farming, but Sugetsu's had enough of that. FPX get themselves back on track. A clean enough round, but I've got to say, a couple of mistakes there.
Yeah, I almost feel like the expectation on Guild's part is they find this pick, they will drift back towards mid or towards Cat, and that's where the pressure's coming from. Coldamenta basically playing to cut off that tile rotation, but yeah, it's just way too risky. Especially with no extra rotation coming across the back market. Leo is a little off pace in that regard.
Sure. I would say as well, when you consider when these two have met, one thing to know is what's on the line and how much people were showing at that point. Because it was a very different time when these two last met. And no one was putting everything out there. So again, it does kind of skew a little. And again, they're walking mid. This is relentless. A little offset on the timing now, 120, but Zipan also aware. Decimates too, with the flash to follow. Guild in trouble now. They've gone on these exploration missions, and the aggression does not work against FPX like this.
No, Trek's got it all to do now. It does have the showstopper to slow things down, but it's only a 1-for-1. So get to find it here, and no teammates with him initially, but
it is the heavy hitters though, right? You got Leo, you got Safe, but up against 4, it's a tall task. Got to start somewhere. Spike gonna go down for FPX, and Sugetsu just makes his appearance. Quickly traded for Leo now, the 1v3, and as you can see, investment upon investment to deny this man any chance of this. Looking for that first opportunity, any pixel that'll show any player not in position. Trying to thread that needle, spots another. Ardis is done with it. And FPX stabilized towards the end of the half, but this was quite back and forth actually for a scoreline that we're sat at. This is not a commanding lead for either side.
No, as I said, you look at the numbers here, it's not a massive surprise on either side, but it's just the nature of some of these rounds where Guild have demonstrated that just solid composure in certain scenarios, here I'm seeing mistakes that aren't typically seen on the side of Guild, I've got to say.
Yeah, we do have to remind ourselves this is an elimination game, so again, these players are probably quite nervous. They're trying to get that feel of the stage. And let's get the thoughts of the desk.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Hypog. And speaking of getting the feel of the stage, it is Sogetsu's debut. He's played a half already. Mimi, has he met your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, he has exceeded them, if anything. This guy has been really incredible and such a big component of these executes for FPX. Just round after round, they were hitting A with that double initiator composition, and then Sugetsu just rolls over towards the tree room, sits atop it, and holds so strong in the post plant.
Yeah, I think he's been decent. Like, honestly, my expectations of him are ridiculously high, so I'm not going to say he's blown me away just yet, but some high-impact rounds. I think both teams definitely had some sort of weirder ones, like one of the retakes where Angel's just caught in the open was a bit peculiar. Then there was also, again, at the beginning, some Xiao clutches, which I think Guild definitely could have won, but I think the good sign is that we've still got Leo back online again. It definitely was a blip from what we saw in the previous match, and Safe, in a lot of the rounds they've had on the defense, has almost won it for them. The worry I have, can Safe do that again on the attack side of Ascent? It's a lot harder.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, you said this when we were just chatting, but it does feel very similar to that game against Paper Rex, where it is very reliant on that chamber to have big moments, and generally the opponent dictating the pace. We saw the Guild was trying a lot of those plays where they would fight for mid control, walk down off of Safe's operator, but FPX had such a good read on it. It was just one Fate Haunted, and they were punishing that on at least 2 or 3 rounds. It felt like Guild was pretty slow to adapt. Again, I talked about those A hits. 3 rounds in a row, pretty much. Same exact thing. Guild too slow to react.
Are you guys seeing maybe some of the elements as to why Guild did let this through? Because they had the option to just ban this map.
I don't know if I'm convinced just yet. I think FPX is just so solid here. They found themselves already an incredible half on the attack, finding 7. I think their composition only gets better on the defense, so I really don't have a lot of faith in Guild, and I'm not sure if letting Ascent through is the right call.
I think now we look towards the likes of Trex. I think this is where, especially on the attack, he's going to have to take space well going into these site executions. If he can do it, they have a good chance.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a couple moments from him. I think of the showstopper, we see attempts at the Season 8. Maybe there can be a step up there, but it really has to start with something early. Get that pistol round, get some momentum behind you.
Well, the desk aren't fully convinced by Guild just yet, but Pansy and Hypo, let's see if they can change their mind in the second half.
This does come back to what you were saying at the start of this, though, better the devil you know, and I still agree with this. We know that Guild are, they're essentially doomsday preppers at this point. They're in their bunker, they got some beans chilling out. Like, these boys will do the hard work, and I across the map, well, I still say that FPX would have had the upper hand, so why not try and take it somewhere that you can be at least prepared on?
Let's see what the approach is here for the pistol round. But particularly in this half, and I'm with Tom, it's not necessarily blown me away in terms of Sugetsu's performance in the first half, but particularly here on Ascent, keep your eyes on how he's able to deny some of this early space and what FPX achieve on the back of it. Wall up here, actually saving it to maybe slow things down as the hit comes through. That's just that. Now FPX will anticipate this rotation away. Seemingly a little off pace here. It's Angel and Xiao tasked to try and shut this down ahead of time.
Ooh, sloppy work from Angel. Did not find the clean shot at all, and it's great trades. Rust with 2 and the site looking open. There's still one here. That's Xiao. Xiao still stands, but only for a moment. Now, look at what's remaining, a 2v2. They're quite far away. This should be a safe plant. You're going to have, Sugetsu on the kind of wrap. Zipat's got to be a little careful further ahead, but will be able to kind of pause for thought. Flashing out Sugetsu. You're not going to put that knife down towards the side.
Good info on both as well.
But do they expect Leo by that close box? I'm curious to see if they clear this effectively. I feel like they will. Swing from back of Bowhouse, but actually no, Zipan actually didn't clear it effectively. Gives him a chance!
He still gets it.
Oh, Sugetsu, that's the magic right there. I thought that was Cordomentus every day of the week.
I mean, he eats the headshot with the frenzy. It's almost like Cordomentus expecting that to be enough, but Sugetsu snaps on with the headshot. Clutches out the pistol round here for FPX. Beautiful stuff in the end of it. Again, a little weird to see just the hesitation. To see the hesitation here, and particularly seeing Angel and Xiao still happy to play close contact when they've got to be anticipating that pivot away as soon as the wall's invested on 3. Guild will throw in a couple of sheriffs here. Light armor for Safe to try and get something done with that headhunter. Oh, there's actually fancies his chances with the Spectre there, but we'll dip away. Some information gathered at least. Actually picks up information here with the jump spot.
Also,
Safe happy to try and take the duel though.
Nice edge. Oh, this timing. Takes a step, forces them back. And Zipan wants to try and make the most of it, but they scurry away, fleeing instantly. Sugetsu doubling down though. He feverish for the pickup on it. It's a bit scrappy. They're making them work for their dinner here, Guild.
A little bit of chip damage, but Sugetsu going to heal up Ardis. He'll be able to post up here with the Headhunter, at least gets a tag away. But actually, Safe and Coldamenta will respond. Brings it to a 3v2. No upgrades just yet, so Stu just 2 sheriffs to work with here. That wall does drop in B main, but Xiao already in position to pick up the slack.
30 seconds left.
Angel, the barrel just gets spotted there. Angel's going to find both headshots.
Yep.
We'll clean things up here. FPX to 9. 3 survive as well, 2 rifles. 4 on the Bulldog and the Guardian. And a very good opportunity here for FPX to put some pressure, some further pressure onto the economy of Guild. Coldamenta decent ultimate progress so far, 1 away from the Cosmic Divide, but not necessarily a playmaker within this composition.
I feel like one of those rounds that will define if this is actually a close game or not, though. Wait to see how this unfolds, and I want this to be a good round coming through. The early exploration. Ardis has got a little bit of curiosity starting to build off of Cat, but you can see that on the other side of things, Guild not necessarily overly committing anywhere, showing a little bit of presence, but nothing too much to write home about.
Bring them down.
To consider in this wall. Well, a couple of shaky moments, but Angel sharp there. Will find Safe and actually force out this rotation, and with no pressure behind this wall, FPX have a perfect read on where Guild are going to end up.
This has to be critical work from Ardis. That's a shot!
That's the key engagement here in this
Massive.
scenario.
Massive work!
Takes away the smokes.
Site's still so vulnerable though. Track's gonna try and get that spike across and get the plant down. Door's gonna be ripped off the hinges pretty soon. And a 5v3, this is not comfortable at all though. You almost have to be proactive a little in this post plant, and Ardis has already found Trex. This is huge work from Ardis. Finally gets put to bed, but Russ isolates one towards heaven. But it is just Russ, and he's gone down. This is really comfy work now for FPX. It got a little worrying at times, but the impact Ardis had instantly quelled it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that still felt pretty comfortable. Coldamenta's way over-invested in that lurk. A little further forward than you want to see him, ahead of contact being found in A main. Like I said, as soon as that comes through, FPX just, it's step 2 on the protocol list. The wall goes up, there's nobody shooting it, there's nobody pressuring behind it, no steps away from it. They have a huge advantage in terms of the timing. This position here, Coldamenta actually, I think, just inside his astral form as the smoke drops. Like I said, just a little over-invested there in terms of the positioning.
well done, boys. Clean. To be honest,
Has to play a little deeper, and like I said, behind the contact. As soon as that execution comes through, A-main, Coldamenta can show his hand. The smokes are up. He knows he has the benefit of that timing.
It's the knock-on effect of purchase so shaky now. That's going to be 11 probably beckoning. FPX close to doing what they needed. A good game to get things underway with Sugetsu back with the boys. Go with a pacey piece up towards middle though. Safe happy to take a little bit more space. And so far, so good. Shot and a half, and actually a fumble from Sugetsu. Gets a little overzealous. And Guild actually get the punish on 3. It should have been this way.
Problem being, I don't think they expect Xiao to have the information that nobody's pushing behind these picks, so Zipan actually does hold on to A-main. Gonna try and stand his ground here.
It's got to be like 3 kills though. The first one goes in, Trex takes the site, Zipan waits patiently, strikes but the trade. Good work from Trex to double check. Xiao, pretty far from this in a 1v4. Yes, they're on weaker weapons, they've still got a bit of light armor here. It's certainly not an easy round to convert.
Spike planted.
Xiao do, anyone out of position? No one giving him that first fight. There's the contact, and there's the beheading. It was swift. Backs away, saves the HP, keeps it clear enough. No one trying to aggress yet from the tree. There's the spot, and there's the kill.
Sure.
Xiao now in a 1v2. He's got still, he's got to the side. He knows where they both are. This is getting dangerous. Trex just about keeps it in check because that was a second away.
Thank God, Trex keeps it in check. There's not even a comfortable engagement there. Almost caught off guard, desperate to try and reposition and find that 2v1 engagement. But damn, Xiao made it interesting. A couple of beautiful shots here to open things up for Guild as well. First coming through onto Angel, and the second actually Sugetsu trying to get behind that pressure in mid on top of the wall. You can see here just, yeah, not a comfortable engagement there. It's almost like a sigh of relief to close things out there.
Trex, he's going to try to pick this pace up, sends it. An Angel playing catch. Now we know that there's still another player here. We know that Zipan was around, but he's taking the time to go up towards heaven. Had to dip out from tree. A little too hot over there. Spike going to go down, and Guild finding a little bit of room to work. Partially off the back of Trex trying to take space, but he's a player that we need to see make impact here. This is one of the maps that we know he can do it on. But now this retake's looking tricky.
Xiao's got the ultimate here, but Safe's found so much space behind in this lurk. FPX have to be either aware of it. He's actually coming up through now with the Deafen coming through.
The timing could not have been better. Safe timing it to perfection, the flash underhand. Safe still operating at such a high level. 3 kills already. Impact galore, and Sugetsu do nothing but watch here. No one gonna exit through on short. And this is recovery. This is road to recovery for Guild. This is critical for them. 7 rounds now, and they found a bit of room to work.
Like I said, it's perfect timing from Safe. Like I said, as soon as that Deafen comes through onto site, there's such a risk that they just come barreling out of this smoke. It's timed to perfection here. The backstab onto both Xiao and Ardis. Beautiful work. And actually, previously, just you see Ardis on the minimap considering the possibility anybody.
You know, a little bit closer now, because I feel it's another one of those rounds that's on that knife edge that really could start sending us back to a close game.
I mean, you look at the finances here for FPX. Angel struggling massively. Ardis off the tour de force. Able to spread the funds a little bit, but there's a Guardian in the hands of Angel. There's not an awful lot else left behind us. Maybe a hero rifle for Angel in the next. We know he's usually good for it, but on the other side, look at Guild. They can play out a couple of these scrappy rounds. Have that confidence booming that some of these deaths don't necessarily matter if they're going to close them out.
And they've shown that presence early towards A main, right? They pulled the rotations. They've actually got what they wanted. And it's a fake, right? Like, all it is like, hey, guys, we're going to do the same thing. I promise you Trex is over here. Boombot's been invested. Now, that did, of course, garner the attention of Xiao, who's now sitting towards tree. They've adjusted a little. But, as we know, Ardis, just around this corner. A lot of pressure on this man's shoulders. He does have Zipan there as well. Ardis has to be careful, because again, it's only 2 of them at this point. They may have to kind of dip back a little if they can't hold them off the door, which they have done for now. Zipan to be slow to touch Ardis with the spam, but again, slowing down the approach here at the back of that suppress.
The null command popped, and now ultimately Zipan can just post up. He knows that this hit's not going to come. Sugetsu's going to be in a prime position to pick up any aggression towards short, and actually Angel's going to spot one on the cross. Potentially here, but you need him to stay alive.
Angel, if Angel goes down, the map is so open, and I'm a bit nervous about this. He's just walked in and eaten the flash. Oh, he's a lucky boy. Gets to keep his life here, and the pressure's going to start mounting, and he just gets outdone. Goldamenta, the Kingmaker himself, going to crack open the round. It's 15 seconds. You got to go now. Artis has to be ice cold with this, and he's not. He's outdone. He's overwhelmed. So gets to from the back line. He's going to at least catch one, but it is a 3v2. Post plant now, and Russ is in the power position. Make it back to a 3v3, though. Let's see what they can achieve.
I'm not even sure the timing on these smokes here with Angel investing one ahead of that.
Oh, it's
Death,
so good.
Safe swings on it.
That's bravery right there to peek ahead, to try and be disruptive. Drop down comes in. Actually, Angel going to punish Goldamenta. Cross being watched. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. And now the 1v2. Shao noted one on the back of the side, but he's going to be toyed with. He's going to be trying to be pulled in every direction. Russ being so audible just to be a problem. And the time, they played it really well there, Guild. Guild on the turnaround here, Mike. They're back in this game now. Yeah,
I have to say again, Angel just caught off in two different scenarios there where he's completely outpositioned himself. It's really strange to see it so consistently because it's so rare online. This is the first sort you don't see this happening online whatsoever. But two separate occasions in this round. Okay. Yeah, nice shot, Golda. But yeah, it's a little strange, and to see FPX punished on the back of it. Barbar cam is just gold. It's just gold.
Can we just get a pip of Barbar the whole time? That'd be good. Don't do it. Maybe.
I'll find you.
It's broken money though. Right, so you can see the knock-on effect of why it is actually such a dangerous round to be picking up.
Oh my god, Trex is 1 HP after that spam.
Ooh. Didn't note that. Yeah, I thought Trex was dead. Oh, poor old Trex. Gets to walk away, but barely limping his way through. Double stacked up towards short, though. Swinging out a little, trying to get that exploration, but they're going to be quick to this, Mike. This could be a moment of redemption for Angel.
It's the hero rifle as well in his hands this time around. Going to find something Leo picked off. Actually makes this doable now.
They've got a lot of info off this as well. Look how many of them got suppressed off the back of that, and they're going to try and readdress the top side and middle. Maybe try and remove that hero rifle or something, but A just doesn't feel like the right choice for them right now, and probably rightly so. But Artist's going to pick up the mantle. Headhunter by name and potentially in nature, dips away for now. We look at Angel again, tries to be in the right place at the right time. Angel does go down, Artist to fill the void and take safe with him. They're being herded around this map, but they've actually got a free shout towards A here.
Actually get ahead of this, and Zipan
he's got to get back, he knows it.
Should hear these steps on the cross to site. Yeah, he will definitely now.
They've actually got themselves at least... Oh! I was going to say a safe plant, maybe not now. That's so deadly, Zipan. Made this so feasible. Artist recovering the rifle as well. Shao, it makes easy work out of the door, and now it's game on. Post on with the 2v2. Bear in mind, Trex is 1 HP. That's all he's got. He's still got Artist, but he's got to find 2 more. It has to be perfection from Trex. And Shao tries to still his nerves, steady himself. Trex plays the time, creeping closer. Shao! It's perfection from Trex. 1 HP. That's unreal work.
Actually disgusting. 1 HP and finds the Red Bull clutch here. What a time to deliver here for Guild as well. Brings it within 1 round.
Last player.
I mean, the first is brilliant. The second here to isolate Zipan. Absolute insanity from Trex.
I love Barbar. How can you not be a fan of this as a coach? As a coach. And FPX, I mean, you're starting to get a little worried now, right? Like, it was a close round still. It was, as much as it's like, yeah, you just lost like a 1v3 to someone on 1 HP, it's a tilter, but it's still a close round. But your mental has got to start being a little bit shaken here, right? You're starting to feel the pressure. This is your home map. This is where you felt good. So you had all that depth. And Guild have picked it into you. They've left it there. Like, I mean, they left it open for you to walk into. And it's starting to feel like a bit of a trap here on the attacking side because Guild have made it back up to 9 to the 10 rounds. However, full purchase for FPX now.
Nothing behind it, though. To get this one up to stop this momentum because Guild have built up a little bit of a bankroll. Ultimate's coming back online as well. Goldamenta 1 away from the Cosmic Divide. Tour de Force there to Finances even healthier. Leo's as well. And might see this invested here for this set piece.
Again, it's that fine margin. Do you back? Do you stay? Artist just copped a load of damage as well. Has to fall away from this. Respect the investment and safe and such. This could be a power position as well. If he gets the timing right. Catches Angel. Comfy work. Xiao next on the chopping block. And he's buying time. Just has to be a nuisance, be a pain to handle. Give favorable fights on the side. And Xiao just trying to get back through the boys. Artist again warded away. Guild are putting up the barriers of entry. They are not allowing FPX back into this. Divide gonna go through. They've got to leave. They've got to leave the site. This is going to be 10-10. We finally got a game on our hands. I was a bit worried. You know what? FPX were looking super strong. Guild, a little flaky here and there. Now we've got a matchup. And FPX, with this amount of being saved across at least, will be able to keep a purchase going forward.
I think we'll be able to scrape something for Angel as well. It's a very, very important round win for Guild. And actually looking as if they want to come forward, try and aggress, remove some of these rifles, but I think the timing not in their favor. Drawn out the Cosmic Divide, and I think that's ultimately the factor that decides it for FPX. I'd say actually scrape something together. It's going to be a Bulldog or a Guardian at best for Angel.
Oh, yeah, so
Or just a rifle with no shield.
Wow.
But yeah, seeing this defense from FPX just hasn't been as robust as what we're used to.
No.
So Getsu not really finding an awful lot of value, and he's usually the one to get behind some of these executions. And then I got to say, it's some individual mistakes that are very, very rare on the side of FPX. But Guild are doing a great job of actually just avoiding Ardis, right? Just completely mitigating him. And the fact that Ardis isn't as proactive as we've maybe seen him at this event so far will also be something to consider here. Xiao got his hands full here.
Pressure. And it's coming through middle as well. There was a time limit on how long Xiao could have stayed there. Angel quickly trying to fill the void from CT. Swings even further and actually gets Russ. Angel doing big damage here. Bolstering the numbers for FPX. Now just being held on the way in. Two left. It's Leo and Trex. Site is theirs. They can get the plant down. And Leo's on guard duty. He's got to keep this boy safe. Get him some time towards site. We've got 3 to handle. Zipan and Angel. Making their way through. Every second is precious right now for Guild. But they are a player disadvantage here. Information on one and not the other, it's a telling sign. Waiting for that util to come back online. By the stairs, it's one, but it's traded. Now a 1v2. Trex, he did a 1v3 on 1 HP.
What?
Ooh, how is Angel alive? Somehow dancing between the bullets. This is good time purchase by Trex here. That's all he's trying to do is buy time. The right click from the Classic is not enough. Artis tries to get in there, but time is close, but he should just about get this.
Yep, got the defuse through. A beautiful retake. Actually, at the end of things, you can see the moment there where Angel's on 20 HP. I'm not even sure how none of those shots connected onto him. But just baiting out a couple of times.
Right back on the timeout.
One enemy remaining.
that was a precarious round.
The artist
dangerous.
clinging to life on the diffuser keys. He's still fist bumping.
Well done, boys.
But yeah, it's quiet in there. It's, again, Guild have found all the value on the way through. Onto side, this isn't going to have an awful lot of effect. I mean, more so for FPX's money, but...
Oh, I mean, yeah, Guild was sitting like on like 8k. They've been sitting pretty
the problem being, if Guild tie up here, that's when FPX are reduced back to
they'll be back
pennies.
And let's kind of look through that round with a bit of a fine-tooth comb as well. I'd still say Guild looked pretty good into it. You had a moment from Angel picking up, what, 3 kills that round? 2, potentially, halting that way forward. Hard to find that value every round because Angel's been a little hot and cold. Not a terrible performance, but it's that consistency.
It's the positioning. It's not necessarily the gunfight that he's taking. It's being caught off guard in terms of positioning, which is something that Angel historically is just, I mean, one of the best at. Literally one of the best at. In just silently finding space around the map.
No, you're absolutely right. So big timeout coming in here. To stop the rot, FPX finally get that round on the board. You can see the streak starting at that 16th round. It's just run through. So FPX desperately needed that round. Came down to a 1v2. It was converted in the end. 10 to 11 though, the money in absolute droves for Guild. Sitting pretty, and we go back in.
the showstopper to try and get something done here. There's actually a slower approach here in the early round for Guild. Operator noted. Oh, this has to dip out now though, cleared with a little bit of utility shout, hoping to find some damage on the back of it. Actually, Coldamenta might get punished. Nobody destroying the reveal for him.
We'll catch them. No charges.
That's the smoke's gone so early.
Have the spike.
That's a fumble.
And with an operator in mix, that's to make things interesting.
My only curiosity is Safe and how much they've accounted for this potential position. I think they're very aware. I'm already seeing Artist kind of turning towards it from CT. If he can thread the needle though, it could still be so disruptive, but Artist could tuck himself in towards the site. I think Angel trying to find a little bit of information. Notes nothing towards that A approach, so still having faith in it being this B piece, but they need an instigator, and as you said, with losing out on those smokes so early on, it's caused problems for Guild. And really, and another Shao being such a nuisance with this. This has to force the hand here. Russ finally gets it back. Sugetsu's going to find Safe, and now that mid lurk's really amounts to nothing. Russ and Leo, you're surely not going to do much with this. Surely not. The flash at least gets Sugetsu away, could facilitate the cross. Zipan notes one, but it's Angel on the back of the site. He cannot be caught out here, and he isn't. Zipan and Angel get them to 12, and FPX correcting course.
Two separate occasions there where the reveal is just not destroyed quick enough. Shao finding two crucial kills, and it's who's on the other end of these. Coldamenta falling first really, really weakens any sort of possibility for an execution. Up to second as well. I think actually Leo's just behind him in main here, so it's a real shame to see. Just on the back of that utility, finding two freebies.
You can see the value of Shao on this map. It's why we always said, you know, him on that fade is something to really keep your eyes on. Bit of a specialist. Certainly garnered our attention very early on once they started to run this comp. You're seeing it in practice. Artists patrolling over towards middle. That's a boombot past. We can see the intent from Guild. Heavy look towards that A side. That's going to be Sugetsu over here. Beside him, Zipan. Finest of angles being played with. And well, options now limited. Has to stand and fight. He tries to run. He chose the wrong option as Russ has had enough. Trex just going to lead the way towards the site, ensure safety. There's no one around. You've got that plant for free here. I'm already looking at that flank being controlled and considered. You've got Leo patrolling a little bit deeper down that way, but again, if you're Artist, Angel, and Shao, you're on knife's edge moments. This is looking like 11.
Especially with this operator in the hands of Artist. No possibilities to swap that out, so might even just commit to doing some damage. I mean, a couple of these Guild players very comfortable already. You really want to give away an ultimate orb towards Leo, to be honest. It makes the next round even more worrisome for them. Let's see if they're just going to try and hold on to these. The operator and the Odin, definite considerations to make in terms of the investment here. Guild bring it back to just one round separating. Sugetsu again, you can see he's just got so many different factors to worry about.
Hey.
Oh no. Okay, thank God.
Live.
The little shake of the head. Wasn't happy about that one.
Not happy. Not happy at all. 11-12. It's gotten close now. FPX, convert this one? Okay, no problem. A little shaky, a little bit worried for the rest of the map pool, because I thought this was going to be the flagship, right? This is the starting point, and then the problems begin on the next map. But
for me, there's an allowance for the adjustment period, but on Ascent, you got to take that with a pinch of salt. This is one that, oh no, they've lined up for the counter spam. No way, right? No way. Way. They just stack up. Leo and Trex literally removing Shao for free.
You can't do it more than once. And now Safe, I don't know if you're prepared for this, both of them facing. That's a lot of information received.
Cover going out.
And FPX made to look a little silly.
Go get him.
Now what does Guild do with this? Man advantage so early on. Zipan desperate to even the board, and he gets punished for it. It's falling to pieces. It's looking like OT is beckoning. Sugetsu, Artist, and Angel can go and walkabouts, and this is perfect for Safe. Sugetsu might check it. Oh, the timing's good enough.
Sugetsu.
Super clean with this work. Sugetsu, maybe just... Whoa! Sugetsu, what is that? What is that work? Clean, cold, and concise, and brings it back to a favorable situation for FPX. Unthinkable. And now the 1v2, it's Leo though. Has to go forward, fights Angel, takes him down, and Ardis.
Oh my word.
Oh, just spotted him on the cross. It's 30 seconds.
30
Oh, it's
seconds
going to come in, and
left.
what does Ardis do? The man.
Planted.
You'll do no wrong sometimes. Same can be said for Leo. Both so gifted, so talented. And the shots go astray. It's so
Ardis finds it.
dangerous, Ardis. Brutish in approach.
What?
Does do it, and you gotta say it. Thank God for Sugetsu in that round.
What is that last round? And again, he's